A medic answers a distress call on a war-ravaged alien planet and finds a wounded survivor, a vampire woman rejected by her own kind for seeking peace. When enemy warships return, she bonds with him through a blood pact, giving him her strength and immortality. Together, they escape, and even when captured by bounty hunters, their unique alliance turns enemies into allies. What began as a rescue becomes a revolution, as the medic and the vampire spark hope for a future where predator and prey live as partners. If you are enjoying the stories, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel. And now, let us begin the complete story. On a distant planet, a medic was called to assist in an emergency. The call came from the ruins of a once bustling city that had been ravaged by war and destruction for years. As he approached the scene, his heart pounded with a sense of urgency as he saw a group of survivors huddled together amidst rubble and debris. One among them caught his eye, a woman in her early 20s, dressed in ragged clothing and adorned with scars that lined every inch of her body from head to toe. Despite the harshness of their surroundings, she radiated a fierce determination as if nothing could stop her from finding solace or safety. As he made his way closer, the medic realized that the woman was not alone. A small group of enemy ships had landed on the planet and were actively searching for survivors. The medic quickly assessed the situation and formulated a plan to rescue them while evading capture by the hostile forces. He set up a makeshift medical tent in an open area close to where they found themselves, providing first aid to the injured and treating injuries sustained during the battle with the enemy. As he worked tirelessly, his mind raced as he tried to come up with a solution that would allow them both to escape from their pursuers while maintaining their unique alliance. As night fell, the medic noticed a small group of bounty hunters approaching him through an open window. They were heavily armed and appeared to be on high alert, ready to capture anyone who dared to cross paths in this dangerous environment. With his heart pounding in his chest, he decided that it was time to put his plan into action. He quickly gathered all the supplies they needed, medical equipment, food, water, and a map of their surroundings, and began preparing for an escape. Using the knowledge gained from earlier meetings with the vampire woman, he crafted a special serum designed to strengthen her immune system while also boosting her strength and agility. With this concoction in hand, he carefully filled a vial and administered it to the survivor, who had initially been skeptical but eventually agreed to participate in their escape. As they began moving across the planet, the medic became increasingly focused on maintaining the vampire's bond with him. He knew that without her powers of immortality, she would quickly become exhausted from the constant physical exertion and could succumb to exhaustion or injury. To keep them both alive, he kept a steady pace while using his knowledge of their unique abilities to guide them through dangerous terrain. Along the way, they encountered various obstacles: hostile creatures that tried to kill them, treacherous landscapes with steep cliffs and rushing rivers dash. But thanks to their alliance and teamwork, they managed to overcome each challenge. As they approached an area where they could cross over a vast stretch of desert, tensions mounted as they realized that the enemy's ships were hot on their heels. The medic knew that time was running out if they wanted to reach safety before the bounty hunters caught them up. With adrenaline coursing through his veins, he called for backup and gathered all the supplies they had gathered in preparation for an emergency scenario. He then activated a special device that allowed him to communicate with the vampire woman over long distances while maintaining her ability to control their bond. Using this communication method, the medic informed the vampire about the situation and outlined their escape plan. They were instructed to separate into two groups, one responsible for navigating through the desert and protecting themselves from danger, while the other was tasked with securing a safe exit point that would allow them both to rest and recover before embarking on their new life together. With this newfound sense of purpose, the vampire woman nodded in agreement and began leading the group through the treacherous terrain. They navigated rocky hills and crossed deep ravines, fighting off predators such as snakes and scorpions with a fierce determination that belied their physical appearance. As they neared an area where there was a safe campsite, the medic heard approaching footsteps behind them. He quickly pulled out his trusty shotgun and aimed it at the bounty hunters, who had suddenly appeared on the horizon. The two sides engaged in a tense confrontation before the medic delivered the final blow with his gun. The vampire woman stumbled back as she realized that her powers were no match for their weapons, but they managed to fend off the attackers one by one. With adrenaline still coursing through their veins and hearts pounding in sync, they successfully escaped from the battlefield unscathed and made it safely into the safety of a nearby shelter. As they settled down in the warm, dry surroundings, they couldn't help but feel grateful for each other's strength and resilience during this harrowing ordeal. They knew that their lives would never be the same after what they had experienced, but together they were determined to rebuild their world as predator and prey once again. With a newfound sense of purpose and determination, the medic and the vampire woman set out on a new journey filled with challenges and adventures, ready to face whatever lay ahead. They knew that there would be obstacles and setbacks along the way, but they also recognized the beauty in their unique bond and the power it held for them both. As they looked up at the stars above, grateful for each other's presence in this wondrous world, they resolved to continue working together, sharing their knowledge and abilities, and building a brighter future where predator and prey lived as partners. And so, with newfound hope and determination, the medic and the vampire woman embarked on an epic adventure that would change everything. The medic, a skilled surgeon with piercing blue eyes and an unwavering determination to help those in need, answered the distress call on a war-ravaged alien planet. The sound of his voice echoed through the nearby shelter as he rushed inside, his heart pounding with fear and anticipation. Upon arriving at the scene, the medic found himself face to face with a young woman lying motionless on an injured battlefield. Her body was covered in deep red wounds, her eyes were lifeless, and her once vibrant skin had been replaced by a dull pallor. It appeared that she had succumbed to a vampire attack, leaving behind not only physical injuries, but also the painful emotional burden of rejection from her own kind. The medic's heart sank as he realized that this was his chance to make amends for their past actions and find redemption in saving someone who needed him more than ever before. With a steady hand on the woman's forehead, the medic administered an immediate sedative injection, allowing them both to stabilize until they could receive medical attention. As they settled into the makeshift hospital, surrounded by chaos and destruction caused by the alien attack, the medic couldn't help but feel grateful for their shared experience. They knew that their lives would never be the same after what they had gone through, but together they were determined to rebuild their world as predator and prey once again. Overcoming the initial shock of witnessing such a traumatic event was not an easy task, and both characters struggled with feelings of guilt and shame for any actions they may have taken in the past. The medic's empathetic nature allowed them to understand the woman's experiences and empathize with her struggle to find peace after being rejected by her own kind. As they began their journey together, the medic and the vampire woman learned about each other's unique strengths and weaknesses, discovering that despite their differences, there was a mutual connection between them. The medic's training allowed for quick healing techniques and surgical procedures, while the vampire woman's expertise in blood manipulation provided a valuable source of nutrients to help the injured. Together, they worked tirelessly using their skills and resources to create makeshift medical stations across the area, treating injuries, and providing basic necessities such as food, water, and shelter. They also scoured local markets for rare remedies that could potentially aid in healing her condition while simultaneously addressing any lingering emotional trauma she may be experiencing. As their work progressed, they encountered various challenges along the way, from dealing with a group of hostile alien tribes who were determined to destroy them on sight, to navigating treacherous terrain filled with dangerous predators and rival factions vying for power. Despite these obstacles, however, the medic's unwavering determination and the vampire woman's empathetic support kept their spirits high. As they faced each challenge together, they discovered a deeper understanding of themselves and their place in this world. The medic realized that while he had always been drawn to helping others, his experiences on the alien planet had pushed him out of his comfort zone and forced him to confront the harsh realities of predator and prey relationships. He began to question what it truly meant for him to be a predator rather than just a provider, considering how much more complex and nuanced their nature was. Meanwhile, the vampire woman, on the other hand, discovered that her experience had changed her perspective on life itself. She realized that being rejected by her own kind did not define who she was or what she wanted out of this world. Instead, it served as a catalyst for personal growth and self-discovery, teaching her valuable lessons about empathy, resilience, and the importance of finding a balance between their individual desires and those of others. As they continued on their journey together, they faced numerous obstacles and setbacks that tested both their physical abilities and emotional fortitude. They encountered fierce predators who sought to eliminate them in pursuit of power or revenge, as well as rival factions vying for territory and resources, each with its own agenda and motivations. Despite these challenges, the medic and the vampire woman refused to give up on their quest for a brighter future. They remained determined to rebuild not only their lives, but also their world, working tirelessly towards creating a new society where predator and prey could coexist in harmony. As they faced further setbacks, they discovered that true strength lay not just within themselves, but also among the people around them. The medic's empathetic nature allowed him to bridge cultural divides and form alliances with individuals who had been marginalized or oppressed due to their association with animals. He learned how important it was for humans to listen to each other's perspectives and work together towards a common goal, fostering unity and understanding in the face of adversity. Furthermore, the vampire woman's experiences taught her that healing not only came from medical treatment, but also from personal growth and self-awareness. She discovered hidden strengths within herself that she had never recognized before, including her ability to communicate with animals and her intuitive sense of survival instincts. These newfound qualities allowed her to help others in a way that went beyond simply treating their injuries or providing basic necessities. As they worked towards this shared goal, the medic and the vampire woman faced new challenges and obstacles that tested not only their skills, but also their trust in one another's abilities. They encountered unexpected betrayals and conflicts within themselves, as well as external threats from rival factions who sought to undermine their efforts at creating a sustainable community. However, through it all, they remained steadfast in their determination to build a better future for both predator and prey alike. The medic learned that true strength lay not just in his own abilities, but also in the support of others, and he found himself relying on the vampire woman's guidance and wisdom along the way. As they continued on their journey together, they encountered many challenges and setbacks that tested their skills and resilience to the limit. They faced both physical dangers and emotional struggles, but through it all, They remained determined to rebuild not just their lives, but also their world, working tirelessly towards creating a brighter future where predator and prey could coexist in harmony. In the end, the medic and the vampire woman emerged from this epic adventure stronger than ever before. They had faced countless obstacles and challenges. It is a testament to their resilience, compassion, and unwavering commitment to building a better world for all living creatures. On the war-ravaged alien planet, a medic answered a distress call on his radio. The voice of the caller was urgent and panicked, tears streaming down their face as they spoke about a young woman who had been injured in an attack by a pack of vampires. The medic's heart raced with dread at the thought that she might be in danger. He quickly assessed her condition and knew he needed to act fast. Using his medical training and equipment, he carefully examined the wounds on her body while communicating with the caller on their radio. As they spoke through the airwaves, they shared information about the dangers of vampires and the steps they would need to take to protect themselves against them. The medic explained that many vampire packs were hostile towards non-vampires due to a deep-seated fear of humans for their perceived weakness and vulnerability. They had been preying on young women who sought peace in a world that was full of violence, destruction, and chaos. The caller listened intently as the medic shared his plan with them. He would first establish communication channels with other vampire packs across the planet to gain their trust and alliances. From there, they could coordinate efforts to protect themselves from any future attacks on non-vampires, while also working towards building a sustainable community that both predators and prey alike could live in harmony. The medic's instructions were clear and concise, and he quickly began implementing them. He established contact with other vampire packs across the planet through a series of meetings and negotiations, sharing his findings about their vulnerabilities and weaknesses as well as their strengths. They listened to each other's perspectives and shared ideas for how they could work together to protect themselves and create a better future. In addition to establishing alliances with other vampire packs, the medic also focused on building relationships with non-vampire communities that were struggling in similar circumstances. He recognized that many people who sought peace on this planet were not just vampires, but also individuals who had been affected by war and violence. By working together with these communities, he hoped to create a sense of understanding and cooperation that would help build trust and support for the creation of their own sustainable community. As they worked towards these goals, the medic faced many challenges and setbacks along the way. There were external threats from rival factions who sought to undermine their efforts at creating a sustainable community. These groups had been preying on non-vampires in an attempt to disrupt their plans and steal resources and power for themselves. The mediator knew that if he failed to protect himself and his team, it could spell disaster. Despite the danger they faced, the medic remained steadfast in his commitment to building a better world for all living creatures. He continued to work tirelessly towards establishing connections with other vampire packs across the planet, forming alliances and negotiating deals to ensure their safety and well-being. He also worked on creating relationships with non-vampire communities that were struggling in similar circumstances, sharing knowledge and resources to help them build stronger, more sustainable economies. As they faced these challenges, the medic's resolve only grew stronger. They realized that true strength lay not just in their own abilities, but also in the support of others. He understood that he could rely on his vampire woman's guidance and wisdom along the way, a testament to her resilience, compassion, and unwavering commitment to building a better world for all living creatures. In the end, they emerged from this epic adventure stronger than ever before. They had faced countless obstacles and challenges, but through it all, they remained determined to rebuild not just their lives, but also their world, working tirelessly towards creating a brighter future where predator and prey could coexist in harmony. The medic's actions inspired others on the planet to join them in this quest for peace and prosperity, and together they worked towards building a better life for everyone. As the weeks turned into months, the medic and his team continued to make progress towards their goals. They established new communication channels with other vampire packs across the planet, forming alliances and negotiating deals that protected both themselves and non-vampires from external threats. They also began working on building relationships with non-vampire communities, sharing knowledge and resources to help them build stronger economies and establish sustainable living arrangements. Despite the challenges they faced, the medic remained committed to their mission of creating a better world for all living creatures. He knew that it would not be easy, but he was determined to make it happen. He continued to work tirelessly towards building connections with other vampire packs across the planet, forming alliances and negotiating deals that protected both themselves and non-vampires from external threats. He also began working on creating relationships with non-vampire communities, sharing knowledge and resources to help them build stronger economies and establish sustainable living arrangements. As they worked towards these goals, the medic's actions inspired others on the planet to join them in this quest for peace and prosperity, a testament to his resilience, compassion, and unwavering commitment to building a better world for all living creatures. They continued their efforts with renewed vigor, working together to establish new communication channels, forming alliances, negotiating deals, and establishing relationships with non-vampire communities. In the end, they had achieved great success in creating a sustainable community that both predators and prey could coexist in harmony. The medic's actions inspired others on the planet to join them in this quest for peace and prosperity, a testament to his resilience, compassion, and unwavering commitment to building a better world for all living creatures. The battle against the vampire packs had been long and difficult, but they emerged victorious, having faced countless obstacles along the way. The medic knew that their work was far from over, and he continued to strive towards creating a brighter future where predator and prey could coexist in harmony. He would need to remain vigilant and proactive in order to protect themselves and non-vampires against any new threats or setbacks that may arise. But with his determination and the support of others on the planet, the medic knew they had what it took to overcome any obstacle and achieve their goal of building a better world for all living creatures. The battle was far from over, but one thing remained certain. Together, they would build a brighter future where predator and prey could coexist in harmony, working towards creating a more peaceful and sustainable planet for generations to come. The medic, a seasoned veteran of many battles against the vampire threat on the war-ravaged alien planet, was dispatched to join forces with a group of other survivors in their quest for peace and prosperity. They had come together after years of living among the vampires, who had rejected them for seeking harmony and finding solace in peace. The medic arrived at the small village nestled amidst lush green forests on this hostile landscape, where he encountered an injured vampire woman named Arya, who was lying weakly on a makeshift stretcher. As she lay motionless on the ground, her eyes wide with terror, as if seeing something incredible or terrifying. "I'm sorry for your pain," said the medic, his voice gentle and soothing. "Are you okay?" Arya's body shook violently before returning to its former state of rest. She looked up at him, tears streaming down her face, as she spoke softly. "I am not alone now." Her words echoed in the silence of the village, filling it with a sense of hope and determination. The medic knew that their task was far from over, but he also recognized the importance of staying focused on their goals. They had faced countless obstacles along the way, including fierce battles with other vampire tribes, treacherous terrain, and unexpected challenges posed by strange creatures they encountered in their journey to find a new home for humanity. But despite all these trials, Arya remained determined to join them in this quest for peace and prosperity. She shared her backstory with the medic, explaining how she had been rejected by her own kind due to their thirst for blood and aggression towards outsiders. Despite facing countless obstacles, she refused to give up on finding a new place where they could coexist peacefully. The medic listened intently as Arya spoke, his eyes shining with determination and compassion. He knew that the vampire threat was real, but he also recognized the inherent value in humanity's resilience and willingness to learn from their mistakes and work towards building a better future for all living creatures. With her story and courage inspiring them all, the medic continued on his journey, accompanied by a small group of other survivors who shared Arya's determination. They traveled through treacherous forests, crossed raging rivers, climbed steep mountains, and battled fierce beasts in order to reach their ultimate destination, an abandoned city that was rumored to hold the key to unlocking peace between predator and prey. As they approached the city, a sense of excitement filled them all as they realized that this place could be their new home. The buildings were old and dilapidated, but there seemed to be something special about these ruins that had captivated Arya's imagination. The medic led his team through the twisting streets and narrow alleys, avoiding any dangers or threats that lurked in the shadows. They encountered strange creatures along the way, some friendly and curious, while others were hostile and dangerous. But despite their fears, they pushed on with determination, determined to reach their goal of building a better world for all living creatures. The medic knew that this was not an easy journey, but he also recognized the importance in facing challenges head-on and working towards overcoming them together. As they entered the abandoned city, Arya's eyes lit up as she looked out at the sprawling streets filled with life again. She saw buildings standing tall, trees sprouting new leaves, and animals grazing on the grasslands. The air was fresh and clean, and there seemed to be a sense of unity in the community that had been lost for so long. The medic led his team through the bustling city, encountering all sorts of people from different backgrounds and cultures. They learned about their history, traditions, and beliefs as they interacted with each other and shared stories of their own experiences. As they delved deeper into this new world, Arya began to realize that there were many challenges ahead, not only in terms of building a community based on coexistence, but also in addressing the underlying issues that had led to the vampire threat in the first place. They needed to work together to find solutions to these problems and create a society where everyone could live peacefully and thrive. With their determination and hard work at heart, Arya and her team began to tackle some of the most pressing challenges they faced during their journey. They worked on establishing new communities for humans, vampires, and other species that had been displaced by the vampire threat, helping them rebuild their homes and lives in a way that was sustainable and inclusive. They also worked on developing programs and initiatives that aimed at educating people about the dangers of the vampire threat and teaching them how to coexist with these creatures. They organized workshops and seminars, training individuals on topics such as hunting techniques, communication skills, and conflict resolution, all aimed at building a more harmonious society where predator and prey could live together in peace. As they worked tirelessly towards their goals, Arya began to feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. She saw the impact her work was having on the lives of others, seeing the beauty of this new world she had discovered and the potential for it to become something truly remarkable. But despite their successes, Arya knew that there were still many challenges ahead, not only in terms of addressing the underlying issues, but also in ensuring a sustainable future for all living creatures. They continued to work tirelessly towards building a better world, always striving for progress and improvement. The medic led his team through another dangerous journey into the heart of the city, encountering strange creatures that were unlike anything they had ever seen before. But with their determination and skill at hand, they fought back against these threats, protecting themselves from harm while working to advance their mission. As they continued on their way, Arya's eyes grew wider as she realized just how much progress they had made in the past few months. They had built new communities for humans, vampires, and other species, established programs and initiatives that aimed at addressing the underlying issues of the vampire threat, and worked towards building a more harmonious society where predator and prey could live together in peace. But despite their successes, Arya knew that there was still much work to be done. They had overcome many challenges along the way, but they were not yet satisfied with their progress or their achievements. There would always be new dangers lurking around every corner, and they needed to remain vigilant and proactive in order to protect themselves and non-vegans against any new threats that may arise. As Arya looked out at the beautiful city she had discovered, her eyes filled with hope and determination for a brighter future. She knew that it would take time, effort, and dedication to build a world where predator and prey could coexist in harmony, working towards creating a sustainable and peaceful society for generations to come. But as they continued on their journey, Arya realized that the mission of building this new world was not just about overcoming challenges, but also about finding hope and inspiration. She saw the beauty of nature, the power of human ingenuity, and the potential for compassion and understanding between all living creatures. And with these qualities at heart, she knew that they were well on their way to creating a brighter future where predator and prey could live together in peace, working towards building a world that was truly remarkable. In the end, Arya's journey became one of self-discovery, resilience, and determination, as she realized the true meaning of what it meant to be a hero and how far we had come since our initial encounter on this war-ravaged alien planet. She knew that there were many challenges ahead, but with her passion for building a better world and her unwavering commitment to overcoming them together, Arya was ready to face whatever lay ahead in the future, knowing that she could accomplish anything if only they had the will and determination to do so. The end. Arya, a medic with a heart full of compassion and an insatiable desire for adventure, answered the distress call on a war-ravaged alien planet. She had been tasked with building this new world not only to overcome the challenges posed by the harsh environment, but also to create hope within its inhabitants. As she landed on the barren wasteland that once was lush green forest, Arya couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of awe and wonder at the sight before her. As she made her way through the rugged terrain, she marveled at the strange yet beautiful creatures that roamed this alien world. The towering trees with gnarled trunks and twisted leaves were unlike anything she had ever seen before. And as she gazed upon a group of small, defenseless animals called vampires, Arya couldn't help but feel a sense of empathy for these resilient beings who sought refuge in the shadows. Arya soon realized that her mission was not just about building this new world, but also about finding hope and inspiration within its inhabitants. She saw the beauty of nature's resilience, the power of human ingenuity, and the potential for compassion and understanding between all living creatures. And with these qualities at heart, she knew that they were well on their way to creating a brighter future where predator and prey could live together in peace, working towards building a world that was truly remarkable. As Aria's journey took her deeper into this alien planet, she encountered many challenges that tested both her physical strength and mental resilience. The harsh conditions of the wilderness made it difficult for her to maintain her supplies, but with her sharp mind and quick reflexes, Aria quickly adapted and found ways to make use of whatever resources were available. One day, while exploring a nearby cave system, Aria stumbled upon an ancient artifact that seemed to hold secrets to this world's past. As she delved deeper into the artifact's history, she discovered that they had been created by a group of advanced beings who sought to harness the power of magic and bring harmony between predator and prey. Aria knew that her discovery could change everything for these creatures on this planet, and so she decided to use its knowledge to help them rebuild their community. With the guidance of the ancient artifacts, Aria worked tirelessly to create a system for coexistence where predators and prey lived together in peace, each contributing what they had learned from their respective species. As her work progressed, Aria faced many obstacles along the way. The creatures were initially wary of humans, seeing them as outsiders with ulterior motives. But over time, through conversations and shared experiences, Aria began to earn their trust and respect. She showed them that she was not a threat, but rather a friend who wanted to help them build a brighter future. The collaboration between humans and vampires on this alien planet led to significant breakthroughs in the field of agriculture, medicine, and technology. The animals' unique abilities allowed for efficient farming practices and new medical treatments, while their intelligence and adaptability made them invaluable workers in many industries. Aria's journey brought her face to face with some of the most fascinating creatures she had ever encountered before, each bringing a unique perspective on life and its place within this alien world. She met fierce predators such as massive wolves and cunning jaguars, intelligent herbivores like giant ants, and wise reptiles known for their intelligence. As Aria's journey continued, she also discovered that the bond between humans and vampires was not just one of cooperation, but one of mutual respect and understanding. The animals saw her as a symbol of hope in this bleak world, showing them that it is possible to live together despite our differences. Aria knew that there were many challenges ahead, both human and alien, but with her passion for building a better world and the unwavering commitment to overcoming them together, Aria was ready to face whatever lay ahead. She had learned valuable lessons about perseverance, resilience, and determination from this journey, and she knew that as they continued on their mission to create a new world where predator and prey could live together in peace, there would be no limits to what they could achieve. In the end, Aria's story became one of self-discovery, resilience, and determination. She had traveled through incredible landscapes, faced unprecedented challenges, and discovered the true meaning of heroism. As she looked back on her journey, Aria knew that it was not just about building a new world, but also about creating something beautiful and unique in its own right, inspiring others to follow in her footsteps and make their own mark on this universe. The end. As Aria made her way towards the war-ravaged alien planet, she couldn't shake off a symbol of hope that hung over her. It was a small cross suspended on a branch from a tall tree, carved in intricate details by an unknown tribe who had once inhabited this land. The cross represented not just their religious beliefs, but also the idea of unity and acceptance, showcasing how despite being vastly different races and cultures, people could still find common ground through their shared faith in something greater than themselves. Aria knew that there were many challenges ahead, both human and alien, but with her passion for building a better world and the unwavering commitment to overcoming them together, Arya was ready to face whatever lay ahead. She had learned valuable lessons about perseverance, resilience, and determination from this journey, and she knew that as they continued on their mission to create a new world where predator and prey could live together in peace, there would be no limits to what they could achieve. The cross stood tall on the edge of an ancient forest, its intricate design reflecting the tribe's deep cultural roots. As Arya approached, her heart raced with anticipation as she realized that this was not just a symbol, but also something tangible, something that people had worked tirelessly for centuries to create and preserve. The tree itself seemed to be alive, its branches swaying in the breeze as if it were celebrating their victory over adversity. As she stepped off the train at the outskirts of the planet's capital city, Arya was met with a stark contrast between her surroundings and what she had seen on the alien world. The streets were barren and desolate, littered with debris from previous wars that left nothing but scars on the landscape. Yet amidst this chaos, there was something else that stood out. Small communities of people living in makeshift shacks scattered across the city's outskirts, their faces etched with determination and resilience. Arya knew that she had a mission to fulfill, one that would not only bring peace between human and alien species, but also inspire others to join her on this journey. As she made her way towards one of these settlements, Arya couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the people's spirit of unity and determination. The settlement was small but bustling with activity, its inhabitants working hard in makeshift workshops to build new homes for those who had been displaced by war. They were not just building houses. They were creating something beautiful and unique in their own right, symbolizing hope and a better future for all beings on this planet. As Arya watched as the people worked together, she couldn't help but feel inspired by their resilience and determination. Despite facing numerous challenges and hardships along the way, they had managed to survive and thrive despite being vastly different races and cultures. They were proof that even in the face of adversity, there was always hope for a better tomorrow. As Arya walked through the settlement, she met with various individuals who shared their stories about what it meant to live together as predator and prey. Some told of how they had learned to respect each other's differences and work collaboratively towards common goals, while others spoke of the struggles they faced in finding resources and support during times of crisis. Arya was struck by their resilience, seeing firsthand the ways that people had adapted to their environments and found new opportunities for growth and survival. She realized that this could be a powerful tool not only for creating a better world, but also for inspiring others to do the same. As she continued on her journey towards the outskirts of the planet's capital city, Arya couldn't help but feel grateful for the opportunity to witness such incredible resilience in the face of adversity. The cross on the tree had become more than just a symbol. It was a tangible reminder of what could be achieved if people worked together and found hope. As she arrived at the outskirts of the settlement where her mission began, Arya felt an overwhelming sense of determination to bring peace between human and alien species into fruition. She knew that this would not be easy, but with the spirit of unity and resilience in her heart, she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with challenges and obstacles at every turn. But Arya never gave up on her vision for a better world, driven by the unwavering commitment to overcoming these challenges together. She knew that as they continued their mission, there would be no limits to what they could achieve, and she was eager to see where this new world of predator and prey would take them. As Arya stood at the edge of the settlement, gazing out over the vast expanse of alien land before her, she felt a sense of pride in the work that had been done so far. She knew that their journey towards creating a better world was just beginning, but with each passing day and every small step forward, they were one step closer to making it happen. The cross on the tree remained standing tall as Arya looked out over the planet's alien landscape, its intricate details etched in her mind. It symbolized not only their religious beliefs, but also a reminder of the resilience and determination that had inspired them throughout their journey towards creating a new world where predator and prey could live together in peace. As she left the settlement on foot, Arya felt a sense of hope for what lay ahead. She knew that her mission would be challenging at times, but with the spirit of unity and resilience in her heart, she was ready to face whatever challenges came their way, knowing that nothing could stand in the way of their vision for creating a better world together. The end and the aftermath of her encounter with a wounded vampire woman on an alien planet, Arya found herself at a crossroads. On one hand, she felt a sense of pride in her work as a medic who had been assigned to assist in creating a better world for all inhabitants. The cross that stood tall over the settlement symbolized not only their religious beliefs, but also a dedication to fostering harmony between predator and prey in this alien landscape. As Arya made her way through the barren, rocky terrain of the planet, she could feel the tension building within the community. Despite the challenges they faced due to the war-ravaged environment and limited resources, there was an unspoken understanding that together, they were making progress towards a world where predator and prey coexisted peacefully. One day, while leading her team through a remote area of the planet's wilderness, Arya came across a group of survivors who had been living in caves for weeks. They appeared to be stranded due to natural disasters or hostile encounters with other life forms on the planet. Despite their dire circumstances, there was a sense of resilience and determination among them. As she approached the cave entrance, Arya could see that they were struggling to find food and water while also protecting themselves from dangerous predators such as packs of felines and venomous snakes. The team had managed to create makeshift shelters using recycled materials found in the surrounding area, but it was clear that their resources were limited. Arya felt a sense of empathy towards these survivors, knowing firsthand how difficult life on this planet could be for those who didn't have access to basic necessities like food and water. She approached them with a deep desire to help, offering her medical skills and knowledge about first aid to alleviate the suffering they were going through. The group listened attentively as Arya explained their situation and shared stories of the challenges they faced. Arya's compassion and determination inspired the survivors, who appreciated her efforts in bringing hope and support to them during a difficult time. They welcomed her into their makeshift community, sharing food and water with her, while also teaching her how to identify potential threats within the cave ecosystem. As Arya continued to assist these survivors, she couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of pride in their resilience and determination. She knew that they were on a long journey towards creating a better world for all inhabitants. But seeing the progress they had made so far gave her hope that it was possible. One day, while leading another team through a nearby cave system, Arya stumbled upon a group of researchers who were conducting experiments to create new technology and resources. The researchers' work seemed unrelated to their mission of creating a better world for all inhabitants. But Arya couldn't help but feel curious about the potential applications they had discovered. As she approached the research station, she could see that it was a massive complex made up of advanced machinery and experimental equipment. As she walked in, she heard sounds of scientists discussing new discoveries and technologies, their excitement evident as they shared ideas for creating sustainable sources of energy and improving access to healthcare facilities. Arya couldn't help but feel impressed by the dedication of these researchers, knowing that their work was potentially groundbreaking in the fight against hunger, pollution, and other global issues. She approached them with a deep sense of respect and admiration, expressing her curiosity about the technology they were exploring. The researchers welcomed Arya into their lab, where she learned more about the potential applications for new technologies and the challenges they faced as scientists working on creating sustainable solutions to some of the world's most pressing problems. They shared stories of groundbreaking research that had led them to this point in time, discussing ideas such as solar energy, biotechnology, and ocean exploration. Arya felt a sense of excitement at the prospect of helping these researchers make a difference in the world, knowing that their work was crucial in addressing some of the most pressing issues facing humanity. She knew that it wouldn't be easy to convince them to abandon their research pursuits, as many scientists were deeply invested in their findings and had dedicated decades or even lifetimes to exploring new technologies. However, Arya's passion for helping others and her determination to make a positive impact on the world inspired these researchers to consider the possibility of working with her team. They explained that they believe that collaboration between humans and advanced technology could lead to groundbreaking discoveries that would benefit not only humanity, but also the environment and other species. Arya was taken aback by their proposal, realizing how important it would be for them all involved to work together towards a common goal. She knew that her team had unique skills and expertise in various fields, including medicine, engineering, and technology, which could complement the research conducted at the lab. Over the following weeks, Arya worked closely with the researchers and other members of the community to develop a plan for collaboration between humans and advanced technology. They brainstormed ideas for how they could leverage their respective skills and expertise in order to create sustainable solutions that would benefit everyone on the planet. Arya's team began by researching the latest advancements in renewable energy sources, such as solar power and wind turbines, and identifying potential areas where these technologies could be used to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and increase access to clean energy. They also explored new biotechnology techniques that could help address issues like food shortages, water scarcity, and disease transmission. As they worked together on this project, Arya's team discovered that the collaboration between humans and advanced technology would not only bring about significant improvements in these areas, but also create a more sustainable future for all inhabitants of the planet. They realized that by working together, they could develop innovative solutions to some of the world's most pressing challenges, while simultaneously preserving the delicate balance between predator and prey populations. Arya felt an overwhelming sense of pride at seeing their efforts pay off, knowing that it was possible for humans and advanced technology to work towards a common goal. She knew that this collaboration would be crucial in creating a better future for all inhabitants on the planet, where predator and prey could coexist peacefully and contribute positively to the world's ecosystem. Over time, Arya continued to work with the researchers and other members of the community as they worked together towards their shared vision of creating a better world. They collaborated on various projects, from developing new technologies for sustainable agriculture to improving access to healthcare facilities. Arya's team became known throughout the planet for their innovative approach to problem solving and their commitment to using advanced technology in ways that would benefit not only humanity, but also the environment and other species. Their work inspired others across the community to join them on this mission, demonstrating how collaboration between humans and advanced technology could lead to transformative outcomes. As Arya watched as the world began to change for the better thanks to their collaborative efforts, she knew that her role in the process was invaluable. She had played a crucial role in bringing together people from different fields and promoting understanding of the importance of working towards common goals. Her dedication to creating a better future for all inhabitants on this planet had not only helped shape the course of history, but also inspired others around the world to follow their footsteps. Arya looked out over the alien landscape, watching as her work continued to bear fruit across the globe. She knew that it was an ongoing journey towards creating a brighter and more sustainable future for humanity, one where predator and prey could coexist peacefully and contribute positively to the world's ecosystem. In the end, Arya realized that she had been a catalyst in this process, using her skills as a medic and her passion for helping others to inspire those around her to join them on their mission towards creating a better future. She knew that it would be an ongoing journey, but one she was proud to be part of, knowing that the world was changing thanks to their collaborative efforts. The medic, a skilled and compassionate individual, answered the distress call on the war-ravaged alien planet. As she descended from her aircraft, the sky was filled with thick clouds of smoke and debris, and the sound of distant gunfire echoed in the distance. She had received an urgent request to reach out to a group of individuals who were stranded due to an attack by an extraterrestrial force that had left their home city heavily damaged. Arya quickly assessed the situation on her radar screen. The survivors reported hearing loud noises coming from a nearby valley, and they all seemed to be in panic. As she landed near the scene, Arya could see that several people were injured or trapped under debris, requiring immediate medical attention. She knew that time was of the essence, so she sprang into action. She quickly assessed the injuries on site, determining which patients needed emergency treatment and prioritizing their needs based on severity. One of them, a young woman with severe head wounds, had been hit by shrapnel while trying to escape from the blast damage. She groaned in pain as Arya administered an initial dose of anticoagulant medication to stop internal bleeding. Another patient was a man who sustained injuries to his legs and feet after being thrown off a cliff into the valley below. As he lay there, gasping for breath, Arya applied pressure to alleviate swelling while performing first aid on any possible fractures or torn ligaments that might be causing pain. As she worked alongside other medical personnel, Arya couldn't help but feel overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the damage. The city was a charred wasteland, with buildings destroyed and roads blocked by debris. But despite the destruction, there were still signs of life. Small groups of survivors huddled together in makeshift shelters or seeking shelter from the elements. The medic had to work quickly to assess whether any remaining patients needed specialized medical care beyond what she could provide on-site. Arya knew that a team of experts with experience dealing with traumatic injuries would be necessary, so she called for backup and coordinated with local emergency responders. A group of paramedics arrived on scene within minutes, equipped with essential tools such as trauma kit and specialized equipment to treat the injured patients. They worked together seamlessly, taking turns performing tasks that required specialized training or expertise, while Arya tended to the more straightforward injuries herself. As they worked together, the medic encountered a group of survivors who had managed to escape from the initial attack, but were now facing challenges due to the harsh environmental conditions and limited resources available on their makeshift campsite. They shared stories about how the extraterrestrial force had destroyed everything in its path, leaving only ruins as evidence that it was not human. Arya listened attentively, trying to understand the situation better and identify any potential vulnerabilities or weaknesses among the survivors. She realized that they needed more support and resources to rebuild their lives and ensure the safety of themselves and other inhabitants. To address this need, Arya worked with local authorities to secure funding for emergency aid supplies such as food, water, medical equipment, and shelter materials. She also coordinated a relief organization with expertise in environmental sustainability and disaster management, which could help provide essential resources to the survivors who had been affected by the attack. As she continued her efforts on site, Arya received updates from the rescue team about their progress and encountered some unexpected challenges along the way. One of them was a group of children who were hiding beneath debris in search for safety from the harsh weather conditions. The medic knew that they needed to prioritize their immediate needs before addressing any potential long-term health risks. Arya worked with local organizations to provide emergency shelter, food, and medical care to these vulnerable individuals while also ensuring they received psychological support to help them cope with the trauma of the attack. She encouraged the children to share stories about their experiences and provided emotional guidance and reassurance as needed. As days turned into weeks, Arya's efforts began to pay off. The survivors started to rebuild their lives, slowly but surely, thanks to the assistance of local authorities, relief organizations, and medical personnel like herself. They worked together in small groups, using basic tools and materials to construct makeshift shelters, set up water sources, and begin a sustainable food production system. Arya's dedication to helping others had not only provided temporary solutions for those affected by the attack, but also inspired them to take action towards creating a better future. The survivors began to organize themselves into communities based on their skills and interests, sharing resources and knowledge to help build stronger structures and infrastructure that could withstand potential attacks in the future. Arya watched as their resilience grew over time, knowing that she had played a crucial role in fostering this transformation. She continued her work at the hospital, providing ongoing medical care for those who had been affected by the attack, while also promoting education and awareness about sustainable living practices among the survivors. As the years passed, Arya became known throughout the galaxy as a beacon of hope and resilience during times of crisis. Her dedication to helping others had not only saved lives, but had also inspired countless individuals to take action towards creating a better future for themselves and their fellow inhabitants. Arya's legacy lived on long after she was gone, inspiring generations to come to work together towards building stronger communities, promoting understanding, and preserving the planet we call home. She knew that her journey would continue in the minds of those who had been touched by her story, a testament to the power of hope, compassion, and collaboration in overcoming adversity. The Arya, 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 Arya. Arya stood at the entrance of a bustling city, her heart heavy with sorrow and determination. The war-ravaged alien planet they had just arrived on was ravaged by a fierce battle that left it in ruins. Arya's medic station lay scattered across the desolate landscape, makeshift medical supplies ransacked, and the aftermath of the attack still visible in the debris strewn everywhere. As she approached her patients, she couldn't help but see their resilience grow over time, knowing that they had played a crucial role in fostering this transformation. Arya continued her work at the hospital, providing ongoing medical care for those who had been affected by the attack, while also promoting education and awareness about sustainable living practices among the survivors. As the years passed, Arya became known throughout the galaxy as a beacon of hope and resilience during times of crisis. Her dedication to helping others had not only saved lives, but had also inspired countless individuals to take action towards creating a better future for themselves and their fellow inhabitants. Arya's legacy lived on long after she was gone, inspiring generations to come to work together towards building stronger communities, promoting understanding, and preserving the planet we call home. Arya stood at her desk, staring out of the window that overlooked the city below as a group of survivors gathered around her in small groups. One by one, they shared their stories with Arya, each tale filled with despair and loss, but also a glimmer of hope and determination to rebuild and thrive once again. "I lost my husband here," said a woman holding a tear-stained face, staring at the destruction below her. "Our daughter was taken from us in that battle." She turned towards Arya, desperation etched on her face as she continued. "We've been living off scraps for months now, and I fear what's to come." "I understand," said Arya, taking a deep breath before speaking further. "But we're not alone. We have each other and the resources at our disposal. Together, let's make this place better." The survivors nodded in agreement, their eyes shining with determination. As they worked together to rebuild their community and promote sustainable living practices, Arya became more aware of the importance of collaboration and unity than ever before. She realized that by working together towards a common goal, rather than fighting against each other or resorting to violence, they could overcome the challenges facing them and create a brighter future for themselves and the planet. In her spare time, Arya continued to work on her research and development, exploring new technologies and methods for treating vampires and their unique abilities. She was determined to find ways to reverse the damage caused by the war and help prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. One day, while working with a group of researchers at the hospital, she stumbled upon an unexpected discovery. They had developed a serum that could not only heal vampires, but also enhance their immune system and strength. The serum contained a rare ingredient that could restore balance to vampire energy levels, allowing them to function more efficiently and effectively. Arya was thrilled by this news, knowing that it would have a profound impact on the lives of her patients and those who had been impacted by the attack. She worked tirelessly with the researchers, sharing their findings with the wider community and advocating for its widespread use. As word spread about the serum's potential benefits, Arya became an overnight sensation in the galaxy. People from all corners came to seek out her advice and support, eager to learn more about how they could harness the power of vampires to create a better future. But as their enthusiasm grew, so did the danger that threatened them. The vampire resistance had become stronger than ever before, with groups and factions vying for control over the serum and its secrets. Arya knew that she needed to act quickly if she was going to protect her research findings from falling into the wrong hands and keep the community safe. With a fierce determination in her heart, Arya set out on a dangerous mission to infiltrate the resistance and gather crucial information about their plans for using the serum. She traveled through treacherous terrain, crossing deserts, navigating hostile environments, and battling off powerful vampire predators along the way. As she approached the Resistance's headquarters, Arya could feel her heart pounding in her chest with every step she took. The tension was palpable as she crept inside, her breaths quickening with fear and anticipation for what lay ahead. Inside the conference room, a group of vampires met to discuss their plans for using the serum on a large scale. They had been gathering information about Arya's research and had come up with a bold strategy that promised to bring down not only the Resistance, but also control over the entire galaxy. Arya knew she was in grave danger as the vampire leaders made their pitch, their eyes glowing with power and determination. But her resolve remained unwavering, knowing that this was a crucial moment for both the vampires and humanity's future. With a deep breath, Arya gathered together the key information they needed to counter the Resistance's plans, presenting it in a convincing argument before the vampire leaders listened intently. She shared her discovery about the serum's potential benefits, emphasizing its ability to restore balance to vampire energy levels and enhance their immune system and strength. The vampire's eyes widened with shock as Arya presented her findings, but they soon realized that she was onto something truly groundbreaking. The resistance members fell silent, unsure of what to do next. Arya knew the stakes were high, and it was time for action. She led a small group into the conference room, ready to face off against the vampire leaders in a battle of wills and strategy. In an intense fight, Arya fought with all her might, using her knowledge and expertise to outmaneuver and defeat the vampires. Her skills as a medic and a combatant were put on full display, with her quick reflexes and powerful attacks earning her widespread respect among the vampire resistance members. But in the end, it was not just Arya's physical prowess that won them over. It was their shared sense of purpose and determination to create a better future for both themselves and humanity. As they emerged victorious from the battle, Arya could feel the thrill of victory mixed with sadness at the loss of those who had been lost in the war. With newfound confidence and renewed hope, the vampires and humans worked together towards rebuilding their community and promoting sustainable living practices. They continued to face challenges and setbacks along the way, but they never gave up on their vision for a brighter future. As Arya looked out at the bustling city below once again, she knew that her journey had only just begun. But with every victory, she felt more determined than ever before to continue pushing forward towards creating a world where hope, compassion, and collaboration could thrive in even the most dire of circumstances. And as she stood there, surrounded by the resilience and determination of those who had been impacted by the war, Arya knew that her legacy would live on long after she was gone, inspiring generations yet to come to work together towards building a brighter future for all life. As the medic answered the distress call on the war-ravaged alien planet, he couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. The world around him was in ruins, with buildings reduced to rubble and streets filled with debris from a devastating battle that had taken place just hours before. He rushed over to the injured survivor, Arya, who lay sprawled out on the ground, bleeding heavily. Arya looked up at the medic with fear and determination, her eyes flickering nervously as she struggled to speak. "What happened? How did you get here?" she asked weakly, tears streaming down her face. The medic took a deep breath before speaking, his voice steady and measured. "We were ambushed by an alien species that had been attacking our planet for weeks," he explained. "Their weapons are incredibly powerful, and they seem to have infiltrated every part of the city." Arya's eyes widened in shock as she realized what was happening. The aliens seemed unstoppable at first, their attacks relentless and devastating. But with each passing day, the medic began to see glimmers of hope among the survivors. They had formed a small community on the outskirts of the destroyed city, working together to rebuild and find safety. As they worked tirelessly, Arya found herself drawn into the life of one of these survivors, a vampire named Kira. Despite her own struggles with fear and self-doubt, she was determined to help others in any way she could. She showed Arya kindness and compassion, offering words of encouragement and support when needed. As they worked together on rebuilding their community, Arya couldn't help but feel grateful for the sacrifices made by those who had fought back against the alien threat. They were risking everything from their lives to protect the innocent, and she knew that it was only through teamwork and collaboration that they could truly make a difference. But as the months passed, Arya began to realize that her work with Kira was just one small part of a much larger mission. She had been inspired by the resilience and determination of those who remained in the midst of the chaos, and she knew that there were others out there fighting for something more than their own survival. One day, as they sat together on a rooftop overlooking the city, Arya received a call from an alien contact. They told her about a planet that was being ravaged by a similar war, with its inhabitants forced to fight for everything in order to survive. The contact offered to help them find resources and allies if they were willing to embark on a dangerous journey. Arya knew that this would be a risky venture, but it presented an opportunity to work together towards something greater than themselves. She nodded eagerly, eager to take on the challenge of colonizing another world and building a new life for herself and those who had been displaced by their war. As they set out on their journey, Arya couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement mixed with fear. They would be traveling through uncharted territory, facing unknown dangers along the way. But she knew that this was the only way to truly make a difference in the lives of those who were suffering. With Kira by her side and a team of skilled astronauts on their backs, Arya and her crew set off into space, determined to colonize another world and create a new home for themselves and others. They faced countless challenges along the way, from harsh weather conditions to dangerous encounters with other alien species. But through it all, they remained resilient and focused on their goal. And as they finally arrived at their destination, Arya couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment wash over her. She had not only survived the war that had devastated their planet, but she had also been able to make a difference in the lives of others. As they began to establish a new civilization on this new world, Arya knew that there was still much work to be done. But with each victory and success, she felt more determined than ever before to continue pushing forward towards creating a brighter future for all life. And as she stood once again in the heart of the city they had fought so hard to rebuild, Arya looked out at the world below once again, filled with hope and possibility. She knew that her legacy would live on long after she was gone, inspiring generations yet to come to work together towards building a brighter future for all life. On a distant planet, a medic answered a distress call from a war-torn alien civilization. The cries of the wounded woman, a vampire known as Arya, were piercing through the staticky air as she stumbled towards him. Arya's heart raced with fear and determination. She had survived countless battles between her kind and other alien species for years, but now faced an enemy far more dangerous than any that she had encountered before. Her body was battered from the constant physical strain of fighting against the vampire race, but Arya refused to give up. As they approached the city, Arya couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment wash over her. She had not only survived the war that had devastated their planet, but she had also been able to make a difference in the lives of others. As they began to establish a new civilization on this new world, Arya knew that there was still much work to be done. But with each victory and success, she felt more determined than ever before to continue pushing forward towards creating a brighter future for all life. She looked out at the city below once again, filled with hope and possibility. The buildings were now towering structures made of gleaming metal, their intricate designs reflecting the advanced technology that had emerged from Arya's home planet. As she walked through the bustling streets, Arya encountered other alien species who had also found refuge on this new world. They too shared her passion for creating a better future and fought alongside her to build a stronger civilization together. The city was teeming with life as people settled in, working hard to create a sustainable way of life for all beings. The streets were lined with shops selling everything from advanced medical equipment to rare plants that had been discovered during the war's aftermath. As Arya made her way through the marketplace, she met other survivors who had lost their homes and loved ones in the conflicts. But even as they faced challenges, there was a sense of camaraderie among them. They shared stories of their past experiences and worked together to overcome obstacles that threatened their survival. Arya felt grateful for the resilience and determination of those around her, knowing that she would not have been able to create this new world without the help of others. As they worked tirelessly towards rebuilding the city, Arya knew that there was still much work to be done. But with each victory and success, she felt more determined than ever before to continue pushing forward towards creating a brighter future for all life. She looked out at the horizon once again, filled with hope and possibility. And as she stood on this new world's edge, ready to embark on her mission of building a better tomorrow, Arya knew that nothing could stand in the way of their dream. The sun set over the city, casting a warm glow across its streets. As they gathered around a large bonfire, Arya shared stories about the events leading up to the war and the sacrifices made by those who had fought for survival. The vampires watched her with admiration as she spoke, admiring her strength and resilience. "I am proud of you," one said, his voice shaking slightly. "You may not have been able to bring down our kind, but your actions inspired us all to fight back against oppression." Arya smiled through the tears that flowed freely in her eyes. She knew that she had made a difference on this new world and would always be remembered as an example of courage and determination. And with a sense of purpose, Arya stood at the edge of the city once again, ready for whatever lay ahead. The future was uncertain, but one thing was certain. Together they could create a brighter tomorrow for all life. The night sky was a canvas of stars, their vibrant hues painting the endless expanse above. Arya stood at the edge of the city once more, her heart pounding with anticipation as she waited for the dawn to break over the alien planet that had become their home.